Okay, well, it's about 1 minute after 1. So I'll just get started, and then obviously as people trickle in, that's when really the important stuff is here. Yes, there's for everyone out there, you are all muted, so don't worry about it. Don't worry, we can't hear the drilling in the background and everything going on. And you're muted and videos are off. So thank you. But just real quick before we even get started, if you have questions, if you can actually throw them in the Q&A, we'll be monitoring that, and mostly we'll answer all those questions at the end. But yeah, feel free to actually throw other just messages in the chat if you'd like. And then we'll see how we do at the end. There is the raised hand function. So if you have something you really want to say out loud in person, you can raise your hand, and at the end, if we have time, we can put you live as well. So without any further ado, first of all, thank you all for joining. This is super exciting. This is, I guess, technically our first webinar that we've done. And it's really exciting to be able to take this opportunity to connect with so many programs around the country, because we're based here in Minnesota, and while we love to be able to travel around, and we kind of are usually able to touch base with people at conferences and trainings and stuff, we haven't been able to do that this year. And so it's exciting that everyone is now more familiar with meeting online, and now hopefully going forward we can connect with you all even more often through this format. I see so many familiar faces, but this is technically Log Rolling 101. And I also want to just, take the time to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Abby Heschler Delaney. I'm the co-founder and president of Key Log Rolling. I come from a family of world champion log rollers, actually. And so I've been log rolling my whole life. My family is very passionate about growing the sport. And that's why we started Key Log Rolling, to give more people access to it. And I won't, spend a lot of time on that, because I know we really want to get to the meat of this, which is about you guys and about how you can offer log rolling. I just also first wanted to say that, again, this is the first of hopefully several webinars. We really wanted to use this kind of webinar. I guess I don't want to call it a series, because you don't have to attend all of them, but going forward, we do want to have more specific webinars for each of the different types of programs, because, I know we have summer camps and park and rec programs and college campus rec programs, MWR, resorts. And so there's, specific things for each one of you guys. And so shortly after this, we'll be sending out a schedule of more webinars with more specific programming ideas, staffing tips, if you're ever interested in putting on a tournament. And then if you have your own, questions or topics that you think would be helpful, please feel free to send them to us, and we can definitely arrange some short webinars or roundtable discussions and pull other people within your program sphere into that, so everyone can share ideas. I also need to preface this by saying, again, because I know a lot of you guys, I actually had a baby 2 weeks ago. He surprised us. He came a little bit early. He came 10 weeks early. So if I seem a little bleary-eyed or if I miss some of your questions, I do have my husband here monitoring chat. And so if you see him poke his head in or help me out or step in to answer any questions, that is why. But we're very fortunate that he's very healthy and doing well. And I'm glad that I can still be here with you guys today, because we weren't sure if that was still going to happen. So, okay, so let's get started. Let's see, I'm going to share my screen here with you, and then get to my presentation. Okay, share screen. Here we go. Keynote. Play. Let's get to the start one. Okay. So log rolling 101. What is log rolling? Log rolling, a lot of you guys know log rolling as that it came from a lumberjack sport, men driving logs down river to get them to the sawmills, wearing jeans and flannels, and everyone kind of has that story of log rolling. But I think it's really important just first to touch on recreational log rolling, the type of log rolling that you guys are doing, that your participants are doing, actually has been around a lot longer than you might think. And I think it's important to just quickly touch on this because it gives you confidence knowing that this is a sport that's been around a long time and people have loved it for a long time. And so while yes, it is new potentially to you and your facility and your members, it's not a new sport and it has an authenticity, and people, like I said, have loved it for a long time because of its challenge in the water, and it's fast paced and exciting. It can be a sparring sport, but it's also an individual sport that you can do to challenge yourself. So I think you should feel, when you're starting a log rolling program, you should feel confident that this is something people have liked for a long time and that they continue to like today. And now they just have more access to it because of the key log. As you'll see here with just the next couple of photos, I mean, log rolling has even been done in pools for a long time. So for those of you, many of you, most of you have aquatics facilities. And people have been enjoying log rolling in pools for quite some time, and all ages. So again, log rolling, just really quickly for those of you though that are very brand new to this, at its heart is two people on one log, each trying to be the last person on. You can't touch each other, and there's a center line, and you can't cross the center line. And it's all about footwork and balance and core strength and concentration. And it really is for everyone. So like I said, who is log rolling for? It is, it's been so fun to see all ages of people try log rolling, fall in love with it. Families love learning together because it really is an all ages sport that you can do together. Teenagers, great audience for log rolling because in the pool, it feels like something that's like a challenge for them. It's a sport. It doesn't just feel like going off the slide or jumping off the, trampoline or something like that. Like it feels like a sport to them, and a unique challenge. We've also seen older adults really love learning leveling as a new sport because it's actually really low impact on your body. It's in the water, obviously. So when you fall, you just fall into the water. It's a way to get great fitness in the water in a low impact way. We've also been really fortunate, and I love this, that we've seen log rolling as a great activity for as an adaptive activity for kids with limb differences, for kids with autism. I've anecdotally have seen a lot of parents and kids that say, I wasn't really drawn to any other sport, but when they tried log rolling, there was just something about it that really clicked. And I think part of that is because it is an individual sport, you can go at your own pace, but it's also a social sport. You can do it with other people. And those are just some of its strengths. I'm just gonna play really quickly in the background here. A video of log rolling at the Denver Park and Rec. Excuse the bottom line. This is actually it was on the news in Denver. So this is just a clip from that. As you can see, it was on the news. So log rolling also will attract a lot of attention in your local news, which we can talk about at another time, and how to promote your program through that avenue as well. But it really, whatever facility you have, I mean, this is a standard aquatics facility, but whether you have an older swimming pool that's sort of just like a box of water, and maybe you can't put a lot of brand new activities in the pool, log rolling is an really easy activity to add to those facilities. It's also if you've just built a brand new aquatics facility, state of the art, you're trying to get people into your new facility now to justify this cause. Log rolling is a great activity as an add-on to that, because it really draws people into the pool, and it's not just the mushroom with the waterfall and a slide and stuff. It really is gives you ongoing programming opportunities to keep people coming back to the facility. Whether you have a beautiful lake beachfront or a small little pond, you can log roll. So really, as long as you have a essentially 20 by 20 area of water, you can log roll. So again, it's really for everyone and for any facility. Let's see. Sorry, here we go. I also just want to talk a little bit about why you will enjoy offering log rolling to your community members. It is so unique and it draws so much attention that it's a fun thing to add to your community. I think that people will be really excited about it. Like I just said, the clip that I just showed was from the Denver Park and Rec program, and it was on the local Denver news. It really draws a lot of attention, and it's a really positive, unique thing to bring to your community and to put in your marketing materials. And it really shows that you are kind of, stepping out there and offering something pretty cool and unique to your community members and willing to try new things. So I know a lot of you are probably wondering about programming. Okay, you get these logs. What am I going to do with them? How do I introduce this? And we've really found that there is a continuum of programming opportunities, from just play-based programming to instructional programming to eventually competition. And this is significant because I think it means that you can offer a really robust or you can make log rolling a really robust part of your programming. It means that there's kind of something for everyone. For those that just want to come and give it a try and be very playful with it, there's that option. There's an option for people that are interested in learning more and kind of taking it to the next step and taking a class with their family or their friends. And then there's, ultimately you'll have people that are like, wow, this is super cool. I want to start competing in this. And, if it's at a college, they might form a club. If it's a community rec center, they might be, again, kind of grouping up as like a club that wants to have practice sessions and going and competing against other community aquatics clubs or teams. And if it's a camp, you can have, end of the summer camp-wide log rolling tournaments, which is super fun, or introduce it as part of a color war. So again, I think it's great because there's really this long progression to learning and log rolling. There's kind of something for everyone. So about these play-based programming models. So when we are helping introduce log rolling to a new program, I really suggest that people first introduce it to their community in a playful setting. Most people probably have never tried log rolling before, and so in order to get them to sign up for a class or kind of to take it to the next step, you need to offer it in a more kind of open recreational setting. So what does this play-based model look like? I would say you'd want to staff it. You want to have a lifeguard there. We will talk about staffing. Have someone kind of managing the activity, but it doesn't necessarily need to be formal instruction. It can just be people coming to give it a try. Maybe it's like open recreational log rolling. It might be, all ages together is great. Parents and kids learning together. It's more of an open format. It might be like an open house in the swimming pool, and people come try log rolling. They might be going off the diving board. They might be using the climbing wall. And this play-based log rolling, I would say it's typically like free, but I also think that you could charge like a small amount for like if you're offering a drop-in or something like that. So that's a nice way to just capture some of that revenue back to the program. Some like specific examples of this could be Friday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. We're gonna have open log rolling, bring your family, or teens come try it. Another great way to get more people just introducing get log rolling introduced to more people would be to have it as an option if you do pool party rentals or birthday party rentals for your pool. Tell parents, hey, we have this option to add log rolling. Maybe it's whatever you decide is for your facility, but maybe it's $50 extra or $100 extra, and we'll add log rolling and we'll have a lifeguard managing it, and they'll teach all the kids how to log roll. And the parents love that because it's like a specific activity as part of the birthday party. Maybe have it, there's a theme for the birthday party, and that it makes it, just gives it kind of that little special touch for kids. The other another great way to introduce log rolling to your community could be at outdoor community events. And I'm so sorry, I don't picture this, but it's if you want more information on this, I'll send it to you later. We also have like blogs on our website about this, but you can really, the great thing about log rolling is that you can bring it out of your facility and into the community to show people what you have going on at your facility. So, you can't bring the diving boards out into the community and the, like the Wibbits and stuff, and if people aren't already coming to the pool, they might not know, what you have there. And so if you can, bring one of your aquatics activities to the community, let's say like at a 4th of July festival, or for college it might be welcome week, it might be a farmer's market or a 5K fun run or something, and you can set up actually like this inflatable pool. I can send you examples. You can buy them on Amazon, $200. You set up the super easy inflatable pool, have fire department come fill it with water. You can put the key log in it, and then offer demos, and then have a table there and say, hey, come, sign up for swim lessons at our aquatics facility, or, if you're a college, come, we have open rec log rolling on these nights. And it's a great way to interact with your community, outside of your facility. So next, once you start to kind of like introduce log to your community in this playful way, get people to try, get the word of mouth out there, then you can start to offer log rolling classes, and this would be like more formal instruction. It might be smaller group sizes. We usually recommend like 4 to 6 people per key log. It might also be more of a targeted age group. So you'd have, maybe that younger, under 12 or 13, maybe you have a teen group. You could have a young adult group, or you could, again, like I said, it is all ages. So you could have like a family specific class, which is again really fun for parents and kids to learn side by side, partly because parents are normally the ones teaching kids how to do something, but with log rolling, they're all learning a brand new activity together. And I think that makes it really memorable and puts the family in a unique setting where the kids actually are probably going to be a little bit better than the parents starting out. And that's super fun for everyone. I would recommend, 1 or 2 times a week, 45 to 60-minute classes. And this would be something where, you would just fit it into your other programs in terms of, how you charge for like swimming lessons or water fitness classes or something like that. It is a unique activity that you're offering. So you should definitely generate some revenue off of that and, charge people for the classes. We do have like curriculum that we can help support you with. Typically you're first just gonna be starting out with like a beginner learn to log roll class. But you can also pair it with other activities in your aquatics facilities as like a workshop. I know for colleges, that have outdoor adventure programs where, in the winter time, they're offering kayak rolling clinics or sup yoga. You can pair log rolling with those activities and make it sort of like an aquatic sampler, or like with log rolling and kayak rolling, it can be, half the group is maybe working on kayak rolling on one part of the pool, and then the other half, with some of those other activities like sup, yoga, and kayak, everyone needs like their own equipment. But with log rolling, you can have 1 to 2 logs per 4 to 6 people, and it doesn't take up as much space in the pool. And half the group can be doing that, and then half the group can be doing the other activity, and then you swap. So that works really well. So I would not be shy about offering log rolling as like an adult only class. I think adults these days are really looking for new activities to try with their friends and partners. And so I think when you have, sometimes if you have like an all, if you have like an all ages thing, sometimes the adults feel kind of silly if there's really little kids learning together and they didn't bring any of their own kids. So I do think you should consider offering like a adult only log rolling class. Maybe it's like a date night thing, or because that you will find that, here in Minneapolis, we have a really strong, new beginner adult log rolling community, people that have, taken classes through the Park and Rec or at the YMCA. And, they took the class with friends, and then they, wanted something more. So they actually formed clubs and they practiced together. So it's not just a kids thing or just a family thing. I definitely encourage you, if you're looking to attract that sort of 20, 30 age range to your facility, that could be a fun way to do that. And then ongoing, eventually, if you're building a really great program, then you might start to offer like intermediate log rolling classes. And again, we do have curriculum for that. You might offer like a competition log rolling class, teach people how to compete, or you might just have a group of people that want to get together and rent the pool time, and they just want to have like a group practice time for log rolling. And that's another great way. Again, they might be renting the pool time from you, and it's a good way to generate the revenue. And then finally, so once you move out of that instructional phase, or if you so choose to, again, like you could just stay in this kind of play-based log rolling or just only offer instructional log rolling. But if you find that people are even wanting that next step, and that you have a strong program, especially for a lot of the colleges, having, see, I'm going to just show this quick video. This is of a collegiate log rolling tournament. You could start offering log rolling as more of a competitive activity. So some of you might be wondering, okay, what exactly is a log rolling match? Or how does it, a lot of people do have questions like, is it for time? Is it one person each on their own log? And you can certainly do those types of things with log rolling competition. You could have, challenges for how long can you stay on, how long can you stay on with another person. But traditionally, a log rolling match is, again, like I said, 2 people on one log, and you're each trying to be the last person on. And it's typically in like a head-to-head, a match that could either be 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 7. The rules are pretty simple, so people don't have to learn a lot. I mean, even in their first time trying log rolling in a class, you do some log rolling matches. So even beginners like want to compete because they try it and they think, okay, this is kind of fun. I want to challenge someone else. We, like I said, have more specific webinars, and so I don't want to go too much into how to like run an actual tournament, because that will take up a little bit more time. And I think that I'd love to, if for those of you that actually are interested in that, I'd love to delve more a little bit into that. But just really briefly, for competition, if you did want to have something, you could, it doesn't need to be super formal. Like you could offer a class and the last class of the session, you could have, okay, we're gonna have a log rolling tournament. And you just throw up a whiteboard and put everyone's name in and draw up a quick bracket and just do like a head-to-head bracket. Or you could have a round robin, and so just have everyone's name in and everyone rolls everyone, and you can do 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5 and keep it super informal. But that competition part really kind of draws people in and keeps them coming back for more. So it is fun to offer that even at a very minimal level. If you want to do something where you were going to do like kind of weekly challenges or like weekly competitions, you could do, again, like Friday nights, we're going to have a log rolling league night. And the first 30 minutes is just practice time for everyone, just open practice time. And then, you know, at 7:30, whoever's there, we're going to put your name in a bracket and we're going to have a log rolling, you know, a head-to-head tournament, or we'll do like a round robin or something like that. So it can really be as informal or eventually as formal as you want, or as competitive as you want. And once you get to that point, I'm happy to walk you through some of those things. So that's kind of the range of programming opportunities. And I'm sure that you all have questions about that. I'm not monitoring the Q&A right now, but I'll take specific questions about programs at the end. I do want to touch on, because I know that this is super important, especially in a water setting, in a recreational setting with lots of participants, no matter what type of program you are, that the safety is a huge component. And I also know, after, you know, 30 years of telling people that I'm a log roller, that people immediately have this perception of log rolling as kind of a high risk sport. They're like, oh my gosh, or like, I'm going to crack my head open or knock my teeth out. But really, log rolling is a very safe sport, and it has a really strong safety track record. I've talked to risk specialists about this, and they coin log rolling. They've told me that they see log rolling as a high perceived risk and a low actual risk, which is actually a great thing, because it's like people kind of think, oh, I'm doing something, you know, risky and putting myself out there. But in reality, they're very safe. And for a few reasons. And so I'm going to tell you why it is safe. When you fall in log rolling, the reason why you fall, people have this perception that they're going to like fall on the log, but really the reason why you're falling off the log is because your body weight is moving away from the log. So the most important component of keeping log rolling as a safe activity is making sure adequate fall zone, and that the log, if you're in a pool or if you're at a beach or a waterfront, that you're away from, you know, any other obstacles, the edge of the pool, docks. The biggest thing is just making sure other participants are out of the fall zone and staying on each end of the log. We recommend 10 feet in front of the people log rolling and 10 feet behind. And the tendency in log rolling when you fall is typically to either fall forward or backwards. It's very rare to just like fall sideways on the log. I don't really ever see that. And the other thing is that even actually, as you start to get better, that's when you maybe would start to fall a little bit closer to the log. But again, because the log is spinning and it's in the water, if you kind of graze the log on your way down, the impact is minimized. Just at like a competitive level, I mean, I've been log rolling since I was 4 years old. I've literally never had an injury other than just a scraped shin or like a bruised knee in log rolling. I've, you know, never broken any bones or torn any muscles, because your movements are very small, quick. You're always kind of contracting your core and holding it's a postural sport. So you're really maintaining this strong posture. And so there's not a lot of contact, or there's no contact, and there's not a lot of pivoting or anything. So it's pretty easy on your body. That's just kind of a side note, like for people that are, you know, worried about injuries, things like that. Uh, so again, the biggest thing is the fall zone. We do have ways to anchor the key log, whether you're in a pool or at a natural waterfront. Again, I'm sorry I had a better photograph or video to show you, but essentially we have anchoring straps that you can clip onto either end of the log. You can kind of see it in this slide here, but you clip these anchor straps with swivel hooks on the end of the log. And then depending on what your situation is, if you're in a pool, you can attach like a line either to the, you can use the lane lines as a way to like clip them to the lane lines, and it'll keep the log still spinning in place, but not moving around in the pool. If you have anchoring points like in the bottom of the pool, you could also drop an anchor line down and connect that to the anchoring point in the bottom of the pool. We are also just launching a new product, which is like a soft weighted anchor bag that you can fill with sand or any type of weight and just drop that into the bottom of the pool or at your waterfront. And that'll, kind of hold the log relatively in one place. You have to make sure that you anchor both sides of the log. So again, the log can spin because of the swivel straps, but it won't like move side to side. If you're at a natural waterfront, a resort, or a summer camp, the same way that you anchor your, big inflatables, you can either, bury an anchor or cement block or whatever underneath the sand, and then have like a mooring line essentially coming up and then clip that to the log. Or you can use like a screw anchor into the sand as well and attach a mooring line up and then clip it to those anchoring straps. And I should also mention, for those of you who are at natural waterfronts and want to just leave your log in the water all summer long, you can do that, which is great. I also can't believe I haven't spoken about this, but I know most of you already have logs and have programs, is the training fins. So each key log does come included with a set of these 3 training fins, and they slow and stabilize the log for beginners. And again, that's another reason why it's been, I think we made log rolling even safer and just more kind of lowered that barrier to entry for people to try it, because we've made it a lot easier. And you start with 3, and it just slows it down enough so you can get your footwork and get your balance underneath you. And then as you improve, you start to remove the training fins one by one, so for more challenge. So you can really go from beginner to advanced with one piece of equipment. And you can take on and off super easily. So even within like one session or one class, you can take those on and off. Some of you might also, we get storage questions a lot as well. So they're pretty easy to store. You can store them standing upright on end. If you're in an aquatics facility and you have limited space, you can actually just like kind of stand it upright in the corner and put a bungee around it. You can store it, horizontally. Some people like to have like a little cradle against the wall for it. If you're at a natural waterfront, you could just leave it out in water all summer long if it's, attached to a dock or to the anchoring. Or you can put it on your kayak and canoe racks or stand-up paddleboard racks as well. So it's actually a lot easier to store than you might imagine. So on to staffing. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, okay, I have no one to teach this. I have no expert log rollers on my staff. This is brand new for them. Like, how are we going to introduce this to our community if we don't have anyone to teach it? Well, the great thing about log rolling is that you don't need to be an expert to teach it. Log rolling is a challenge, a fun challenge, but it's not complicated. So as long as you have enthusiastic, encouraging staff members that are excited about the activity, they can be really great Pied Pipers for you. And I will also say that training your staff as like log rolling instructors and making it really selecting, not just being like, hey, will you, teach this log rolling class, really selecting them and identifying them as log rolling instructors is a great way to empower them as leaders in your program. It gives them some added responsibility and ownership over the aquatics program. It gives them an activity to, it gives them opportunities for more hours. I know lifeguard turnover, camp counselor turnover is a really big, hurdle for a lot of programs. So having this new unique responsibility for young staff is a great way to just kind of build some morale into your program and, again, give them some ownership over it. So you want to look for staff, that do have sort of a lens for safety. So that's why it's really great to, look to your waterfront staff, look to your lifeguards, look to your swim instructors, because they do already have this. You want to look for people that are, want to be engaged and interested in helping others, who are willing to try something new. And then, really, so obviously we do offer staff training. We would love to come to you and train your staff, but we do have instructional manuals and videos that they can view on their own. And, what I would really just kind of like quick hit list of things when you're, training your staff would be have them read through our instructional manual, watch the videos, arrange a staff practice session where they can all practice it and try it together to get the hang of it. And then also arrange a time for them to practice teaching new people. So once they've had a time to practice it and feel comfortable with it, then I also suggest bringing in like a new staff group or new people that have never had log rolling before, so that your staff can practice teaching log rolling. And if that's at a summer camp, have your waterfront staff try log rolling and then maybe they're teaching the, the cook staff or whatever. Or if you're at a resort, have the waterfront staff teaching another staff group. That's a great way to kind of get them up to speed and make them feel comfortable teaching log rolling. Okay, so that actually is sort of the end of our main presentation. I'm gonna start to open it up to, I guess, take some of these questions. What the Q? Oh, here. Sorry, let me bring up this Q&A quick. Okay. I'm just gonna go kind of down from the top on some of these. Okay, so Kimberly, the best way to anchor it without having someone hold it. So if you're at a natural, let's see, you guys are in a pool. Well, I'll just do both. So the thing about anchoring the log is that it's going to still spin. So if you have brand new beginner log rollers, it is helpful to have someone holding the log for them. So if brand new people are trying it, you either want them to know that they should be holding the log for each other. Like if you had a family that was going to just rent a log and do it just on their own as a family, or a group of friends or something, you should give them a quick tutorial, and they should know that when they're first starting out, it's super helpful to have just someone holding the log steady. Eventually, people get to the point where they understand how to hop on and hop off themselves, and especially like at a natural waterfront in shallower water, you can do that. But with anchoring it, again, like I said, we have anchoring straps. You can anchor it, straight down if you have anchoring points on the pool. If you have lane lines, basically what I would do is have one lane line, kind of skip the next one, and then have another lane line, and you can have the log perpendicular, and then put the anchoring straps on, and then connect a line from the anchoring strap to the lane line. That just is great because you don't have to worry about, oh, okay, it's not monitored and it's not gonna get too close to the edge or anything. Okay, at outdoor pools, log rolling is great at outdoor pools. I highly recommend it. Whether it's you have people that log roll in their backyard pools. If it's a zero depth pool, like a zero depth aquatics facility outside, you can kind of do it in that like waist deep area, which is great. But yeah, definitely summertime log rolling outside is great. Even if you, like I said, with that inflatable pool too, if you're like a park and rec program and for whatever reason, if your aquatics facility is closed or being renovated or something, you can still offer log rolling in that inflatable pool. We had a question about saltwater. We have log rolling programs in the Florida Keys, in San Diego and Mission Bay. I will say that you want to make sure that the the way, if it's a really like wavy oceany area, that's tough for log rolling. But if you're in, a calm bay, definitely all the parts on the key log are stainless steel, so it holds up in salt water pretty well. Okay, do you have to have a hose to fill the key log? You do not have to have a hose. Wish I had. We'll follow up in an email with this, so I'll also be sure to like answer all of these and send some photographs and stuff so you can see. So you do not have to have a hose. Here in Minneapolis in the summertime, we just go right down to the lake and fill up the logs in the lake. And what you can do is get a funnel, like a gallon-sized funnel, or 2 gallon-sized funnels, or a gallon-sized funnel in a bucket. And you basically put the funnel into the fill port of the log, and then you can just, bucket the water in, and it takes about 3 to 4 minutes to fill it up. You can fill it up from both ends. That's a really great way to just, like if you're at a lakefront, or again, if you don't have a hose that reaches to your pool very well, you can just fill it up with the chlorine water with that funnel and bucket. It takes about 5 minutes. Let's see, fill in and drain. Okay. I think this is supposed to be filling and draining. So yeah, that's how you'd fill. Draining it, there's 2, to fill it. Again, there's the 2 fill port plugs on either end. You just open those up, fill it up. You want to make sure that you fill it entirely with water. I will say I kind of missed that when I was talking about the safety component. It's really important to make sure that your key log is filled entirely with water so that it spins evenly. I do see, when I see photographs online of, I always try to, sometimes I notice that I'm like, oh, I don't think that they have their log filled up with water. So I always try to message people when I see that. But you want to make the way that it works, there's this internal foam baffle, and then you fill the log with water all the way up, and then that creates the mass, so it spins like a Western red cedar log or line log. And if you don't fill it all the way up, if you don't fill it up at all, the log's just going to sit right on top of the water, and it's going to be very difficult to stand on because it's so buoyant. If you only fill it up about halfway, it's going to feel kind of waterlogged. So it's not going to like spin evenly. And so you'll be able to notice that. So a way to really make sure that you have it entirely filled with water is you want to, be filling it. Once you notice that the water is over, is flowing out of the fill port, I would then cap one of the ends, have someone either like push down on one end, or you can kind of lift up one of the ends onto the pool deck or onto the beach a little bit, and then continue to put a couple more gallons of water in it so that you really get the log entirely filled so that it spins evenly. And then for draining, really all you have to do is open up those fill port plugs. The water will immediately start gushing out of it. And then, as it drains, it'll become more and more buoyant. You just kind of keep spinning it so that the water drains. And then once it's light enough to be able to kind of lift one end up, I always just like lift one end up and then just let the water drain from down out one fill port, and just takes a couple minutes. The instructional manuals and videos, we have a lot of those on our YouTube channel. And when you get your logs, we'll send like a starter pack, and we'll have links to all of those as well. And we're continually updating those. So I definitely recommend, don't unsubscribe from us or stay, we're always, trying to kind of continually refresh our manuals and materials and stuff. And so if you have turnover within your staff, please do keep us up to date on who those new people are, so we can get all of that information to them as we update, you know, with curriculum or new programming ideas and that kind of stuff. Depth. I'm sorry, I guess I didn't really talk that much about depth. Depth of water. To be honest, you really depends on your where you're log rolling, whether it's in a pool or outside. But if you're outside at a beach, I mean, really any depth of water, as long as the log spins freely without touching, without, you know, hitting the sand, then you can log roll like in knee deep, waist deep water. In a swimming pool, because it's, you know, obviously most swimming pools do start at that 3 foot depth. And also because of the, you know, it's not sand, obviously it's concrete or tile. We recommend that 3 foot area. And, you know, so you're kind of chest high, the instructor will be kind of holding the log, and then kids and adults can climb on. I won't show you how to get on the log now, but we do have videos and stuff for how to, you know, get on in different depths of water, and in our instructional manuals as well. It shows you how to hold the log and how to get on in varying depths of water. Let's see. Okay, question from Andrea. People interested to try events programs. Let's see, Andrea. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to. What events have tried this? Yeah, events are a great way to get people. Oh, here, sorry. Let me read the question for everyone. Do you have any suggestions or pointers for getting people interested to try events at programs? We've had log rolling for 2 years, still wanting to get more traction and people at events. Okay, so it must be a college. You've tried it in your rec guide, all pool Fridays, fraternities and stuff. Log rolling is a super fun event activity. You know, you definitely need to, because it is new, I will say, like, it's really important to get the marketing of it down and getting the word out there with photographs and videos on your social media, really show people what it is and how they can do it. I will also say that if you're, you know, offering log rolling at your events, and then you want, but you're doing that because you want people to try to come back for classes or like ongoing weekly activities, make sure that you're really vocal about when they can come back to the pool to try those things, and, you know, get them to sign up right there. That really helps to kind of, if you're doing log rolling as an event and you say, hey, we're offering log rolling, it's helpful for people to know, okay, how can I access this again? And be able to be ready and equipped to tell them that. I hope I answered that question. Okay, question about training fins. That's great. So it comes, the key lock comes included with 3 training fins. I recommend using all and any of them. First, you want to start out, if it's really, you know, beginners, you do want to start out with all 3 on. So you have one on either end and one in the center. Especially if you have adults or, you know, older kids. Sometimes those really little kids, you know, like 6 to 8 years old, 3 training fins might be almost too much for them. They're just so lightweight that they don't even really spin the log much. So maybe you start with 2, you know, just the 2 on either end and leave the one off the center, or even put one on just one on the center. So they slide right on and off. Again, we'll send this in the follow-up, but there's, you know, there's cam straps, you just tighten them on. So you loosen the buckles to take them off, slide them off the log as soon as people want more challenge. But really, like within one session, like within one class, you might be taking those on and off, depending, you know, people might all give it a try. With 3, they kind of get the hang of it. Then you remove one from the center, but then maybe at the end, you're all logged together, you're starting to do more competition. And once you have 2 people on the log, you know, that makes it a little bit harsh. So then maybe, you know, you go back to the 3 and So I wouldn't be shy about going, being active about taking them on and off for sure. Let's see if you have any other. Is that it, Matt? My moderator over. Oh my gosh, this is one I've never gotten this. Is there a temperature max like hot springs? Okay, so I will say that before we even had the key log, my family lived in Steamboat Springs for a little bit, and in the wintertime, we log rolled in the outdoor Steamboat Springs hot pool. So I will that that's actually really fun. Looked super cool with the ever the steam coming off of the log rollers. It's great. It's great photographs. I mean, I don't know, but I will say that I swim. I take my son to swim lessons in a friend's actually indoor pool, and they keep it really warm because we have really little kids that are swimming, and have a key lock for one of their sons in the pool, and so far so good. They've had it over a year. It holds up really well. The biggest thing, of course, would then be for storage. Like if you're in an outdoor hot springs or something and it's in the wintertime and you're log rolling in the pool, when you take it out, obviously you need to make sure that it's completely drained with water. And I would suggest probably storing it, you can bring it inside, or, you don't want it to be freezing and, or warm and then freezing, expanding, and et cetera. But I would, if you're going to be log rolling in some hot springs, I would love to, I'll come and join you. Let's see, were there any other, is that it? Let's see, a max weight. Okay. Not really. I have seen a lot of different people log rolling, and we've had, big guys trying it, like both on the log, going after it, really having a fun log rolling match. It's not gonna hurt the log in any way. I mean, it might, you have a bigger adult that's stepping onto the log, it's, it might just sink down in the water a little bit more, but it's still gonna spin. And really all bodies can log roll. It's really empowering to see that, so many different types of people try log rolling and find something for themselves. And maybe it also is, to be honest, can be a great way to get your fitness back, because like I said, it's pretty minimal impact. It's not as hard on your body as going for a jog, on, pounding the pavement. You're a lot of times thinking more about the challenge of learning this new activity than you are the cardio or the work that you're doing. People get distracted. It's like a game. They're trying to figure it out. They're challenging another person. They're challenging themselves. And they're thinking more about that than the work that their body is doing. And so I would say it's a really great fitness activity for all bodies, which is super fun to see. So is that, we're good? Okay. Well, I want to say thank you all, for joining this. Going forward, again, we'll send out upcoming webinars that we'll be hosting. If you have specific questions or topics that you'd like us to cover in a webinar, or put together a roundtable discussion with other people in your type of, whether you're like a recreational program or summer camp or resort, we'd love to hear your ideas and help support you. This is really exciting. Log rolling, for me, we started this because we wanted log rolling to become an Olympic sport, because we wanted to give more people access to it. And you guys are, the first community. You guys are building the community of log rollers. And so we want to keep you all connected and help support you, and be able to, offer this great North American sport to people all over the place. So thank you so much for, what did you say? Sorry. Thank you so much for being on today. I hope I didn't I hope I didn't drone on too long. My our sleep days is a little lacking. So thank you for your patience in that sense. But please don't be afraid to email me because we are, or give me a call because we obviously are still moving forward with helping people out, getting logs out this summer and getting program going. And we have a great support team helping us right now. And so I know that this has been a challenging year for everyone, and we especially are excited to get rolling this coming summer. And I just realized that that's actually something I didn't really talk about is log rolling and COVID, but I will say that we had some really great success stories of programs last summer that introduced log rolling for the first time, and that even said log rolling was the one activity that they could offer safely because of the distancing and being in the water, and that it actually really they were super excited about how many people kept coming back to the lessons. And so I know that right now seems like kind of a hard time to try something new and to introduce something new to your community, but it could actually be a really good time to do it because I think people are at a place where they want to try new things and they're willing to try new things because they just got through this really hard year and they want to have some fun, and this could be a good way to do it. So like I said, I know trying new things is always challenging, but I think now could be a good time. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you guys at future webinars, and stay in touch this spring. We're super excited you're offering log rolling to your community and to your participants. So take care.